Okay, so we are live. Good afternoon. This is the B2B R&D Digital Marketing Insights episode 26, where we're going to be discussing changes that have happened with Facebook and utilizing Facebook for your marketing. I am Craig Yaris, the COO of B2B R&D and one of the co-founders. And normally I'm joined by Ellen Williams, the CEO and other co-founder, but she is not available to join us today. So I am joined by a most gracious co-host, and I thank you, Melanie Hall. Melanie, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I am the owner and CEO of Big Uptick Social Marketing LLC, based in the Dayton, Ohio area. And I worked with you and Ellen in the past with some video editing and with your Morning Sip, which is a continual series to give little snippets of digital marketing insights from your research, and that's RE-search. So you're researching the search to make it easier for us.
That's right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm just sort of closing some stuff down here because I seem to be having technology issues today. It started early this morning with Wi-Fi not working. So, you know, we're going to make do and make the best of it. Well, thank you very much, Melanie, for joining me on today's Digital Marketing Insights Blab.
Pleasure.
So you and I talked a little bit by email yesterday, and like you said earlier, for those people who may have been here before, you don't use Facebook for your marketing purposes. So I am going to challenge you a bit on that, and I'm going to do that with actual facts and statistics. Believe it or not, I know. Not only will there be opinion, but it's going to be facts and statistics as to why maybe for you and clients that may not be the best tack. So tell us, Melanie, why don't you use
hold on.
Facebook for your marketing?
Hold on just a minute. I meant this other blab went in here, and I'm hearing like another thing in my head.
See, it's
so
not me.
Let me. Goodness.
Okay, well, we are having a bit of technical difficulties. It started with mine being echoey, and now Melanie's was. So we're just going to give her a second to come on back in. As I said just a few minutes ago, Facebook is I think, an integral and important part of most marketers' strategies for their clients. And it's not strictly hey, everybody's doing it, except that, hey, everybody's doing it. I don't want to start throwing statistics out till we can get Melanie back in here, but one of the things that I will...
Where are these gremlins coming from?
You're back. I know, it's... You know, I don't know if it's us or if it's Blab or if it's a combination of both. Basically, I noticed Blab had made some changes again when I had logged in this morning. So who knows? So what I was saying before the gremlins got into your computer, you see, the problem was you fed them after midnight.
I think that's what it was.
I believe that Facebook, and I think statistics really do sort of prove this out, that Facebook really needs to be a part of most businesses' social strategy. And especially with some of the changes they made over the last 2 weeks. So and I know you don't use it for yourself, but Melanie, do you use it and recommend it for clients that you have?
Only if they've already had a Facebook established.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which most of them already do, because most people, when they start on an online presence, they usually start with Facebook. So they already have a Facebook, but I don't recommend it if they haven't started, because I would be hypocritical for one thing if I don't use it myself and then I say, yeah, start a Facebook for your business. So yeah, I don't recommend it for those two reasons.
Okay, and I completely appreciate the I don't do it, so I can't recommend it to you, but I'm sort of going to go the other way. According to statistics on March 2nd, Facebook had more than 3 million business pages on their site, and that was up from 2.5 million in September of 2015. They've got some new tools that we're going to talk about that really, I think, make it a necessity for small businesses. But one of the things I think most important is that there are 43 billion with a B connections between people and businesses on Facebook. And with more than 80% of their users in the US connected to pages, more than 80% of their users is a huge number. It's over 1.5 billion users that they have right now. That's, I mean, I'm going to say it again, 1.5 billion users.
Blew me away.
And, you know, I unfortunately, for some reason, this is on me. I didn't search properly. But as of the end of December of 2015, 934 million of them were mobile daily users. So Facebook's got the traffic. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to throw some stats here from B2B R&D for you. Okay. These are actual B2B R&D stats, which I'm pulling from a tool that we talked about last week called Dasheroo. Mm-hmm. Our traffic to our website, according to Google Analytics, you know, the largest amount of traffic is direct traffic, actually. Mm-hmm. Google search is the second highest, but Facebook is our third driver of traffic, with almost 11% of our traffic coming from them. That, to me, is a huge amount of traffic being driven. And if you were to look at our social, just our social traffic, Facebook is number one, with nearly 12% of our social traffic being driven through Facebook. So that's a huge amount of potential audience that I think people miss by not being there. Is
that with you paying for ads to reach your audience, or that's
nope. That's organic reach. And in fact, and I know that was one of when you and I were talking yesterday by email, your concern is it's a pay-to-play platform. And, you know, I actually thought about that a lot for the last few hours. Because marketing is pay-to-play, isn't it?
It is.
So I know, and you are not the first person to say that. You're not the only person that's ever said, you know, Facebook's becoming pay-to-play, engagement is down. And I think that was sort of your two big arguments, the lack of engagement and the pay-to-play. And I had pulled up our last, I lost it on my dashboard, here we go. Just today, I posted about 2 hours ago, so it's 12:13 Eastern Standard. So 2 hours ago is 10:13 approximately Eastern Standard. I posted about today's blab that we're going to be live. And I pulled up some stats. You know, some people have done research on what good engagement is on Facebook. And depending on the number of fans, of course, it changes. And some of the research I've seen says good engagement is between 1% and 2%. You know, you're at numbers of direct marketing, right? Because direct marketing gets barely 1% sort of response. And that post about our blab, we're at almost 67% engagement rate. Just from that 2 hour post. Now, I have not paid. I would, listen, I'm giving you stats from ours, so I would be obliged to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrific as far as I'm concerned. But even going back to a post we did on March 14th, which was one of our morning sip videos, we're at nearly 5% engagement. Our morning sip on the 16th is almost 6% engagement. So to me, if these posts are getting engagement with just the sharing, the organic, that to me is well worth the effort, I think.
Well, these
yes.
stats are really interesting because I don't dispute them at all, because I am only going by what I know from three years ago. 3 years ago with a client that we really, that was what we basically did. That was their budget. They did all their budget, their online marketing budget on Facebook.
Really?
That's all they wanted to do. So my experience with their stats, it's 3 years old now.
Right.
So
okay. All right.
So things are different, and I do keep up with current articles, so
mm-hmm.
I might be getting closer to it. I don't know.
I'm going to push you. Because now let's talk about 2 changes Facebook made within the last week or 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about instant articles, and we're going to talk about Facebook Live video. Now, Facebook Live video is really the one I think that is going to be a huge driver of engagement. And the reason is simple. Facebook announced this past week that they've made an algorithm change, as they are wont to do, which puts live video at the top of every newsfeed. It is now pretty much the most important content. So and even better, if you've liked a page, you are notified whenever they go live. That little globe icon in the upper right corner, as well as on mobile, you're notified whenever one of your pages that you follow goes live. So they're really pushing out this engagement with live video. Now, we have not yet experimented with it. We're doing a lot of recorded video. We haven't quite jumped on the live bandwagon yet, for no reason other than we haven't.
Yeah.
But with the ability to be front and center of your audience, anytime you go live from a mobile device, that's huge in my mind. And wait, it gets better. If you share a live video, anytime that page goes live, the friends that you've shared that live video with will be notified that that page is live. So now your page has the potential for so many more eyes, with the average person having approximately 250 friends, with millennials having more than that, which is a big market for some businesses. It is possibly, it could be very much a game-changing tool, I think. So with your huge video knowledge, because, I look at you and say, you're the video person. You know video. What does that say to you?
I'm extremely curious. Let me ask, with this, with the live video streaming on Facebook, do you have to use your mobile device, or can you do desktop? It has to be mobile?
Nope. It is mobile only. I think their purpose is to give that really sort of one-to-one impression, that it's much more spontaneous. You cannot schedule. It's much more in the moment than something like Blab, for instance, where we schedule our Blabs a week out or more. So it is a mobile only, and it's got to be done from the Mobile Pages app.
Well, then, if you're doing the live streaming from Facebook on your mobile app, you're only the only people seeing it at that time are those who actually are on Facebook at that particular time. Is that right?
That's true.
But you said it does stay up at the top.
It does. And I just lost my page that I was going to bring up here because I had some stats in regards to the use of mobile and audience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where was it? Oh, I can't find it now. Oh, I can't find it, unfortunately. It had to do with it's nearly 1 billion people are active on Facebook mobily every day.
Mm-hmm.
So really, there is a good chance that not only will you catch your audience, but remember something. Whenever, now I'm an iPhone user.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my iPhone, I've got my watch, my iPad. So anytime one of my brands that I follow are live, I'm notified on my watch. So I am notified and I can then, jump in. And I was listening to somebody, a very large social brand, was talking just earlier about their live video, and they tested it out. They started broadcasting, and he was quite surprised. He said, "Oh, look, we have 30 people that have already joined us within a few minutes." It was up to 300, and they have had now, mind you, huge, social marketing brand. They average 1,000 viewers per live video.
Wow.
And it's engagement. You can talk. I've participated in some of these, and it allows you to comment back and forth. You can participate from your desktop. So if I go live on my mobile, you, Melanie, can watch it on your desktop and you can participate. And Facebook has said, it's going to be the top of the news feed. It's really important. But even better, I think, for you as a video person, they enable you to download the video and you can then reshare it. You can upload it to any channel you want, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. So it gives you that content, which you can then use wherever you wish, your blog, your website. So it sort of allows you that double-edged sword.
The video card might be the ticket I'm looking at.
Well,
I think you recognize that in me, because that's what you're targeting, like the video. But that is. But what do you advise people like me who would be starting out fresh and have zero so-called friends on Facebook? I mean, wouldn't it be just it would be such a jittery start, and then people judge you on Facebook based on how many friends or followers you have, and then it's like, oh gosh, I don't want to be the first one or the second one, or I don't even want to be the first 50 people to be involved with this, liking me.
Okay, and that's a great question. Now, when you're talking business page, you are talking likes, not friends. So I want that to be clear for the audience.
Okay.
And you're right, being the first is a difficult process for people. However, you've got a built-in audience. You've got your clients. You've got your already friends on Facebook. I imagine you have a Facebook personal profile.
I used to.
You don't?
No,
okay,
I used to. I experimented for about a year, and I found out too much about my family I did not want to know. And I couldn't personally block them, because that was even worse. That was a bigger sin than anything in family.
That's funny. Okay. All right. So for you, it is a bit of an uphill battle for you. Absolutely. But so is starting out on any platform. When you started out using YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn, you didn't. You started from zero. So in my mind, there's no reason not to do something simply because you haven't done it. And really, I think marketing comes down to experimentation lots of times. And we have talked about that before. You just sort of need to jump in there and say, hey, okay, we've got a Facebook business page rolling. You're going to need that personal account to link it to. Every business page, you should always make sure has at least 2 administrators. So that way, if there's ever any issue, the page doesn't get lost in the ether. Ether. I don't know how to pronounce that. But it is a big jump for somebody who's never done it. But, you create a Facebook page, and by all means, I'm going to like it. So now you've got access. And here's the advantage
I'm going to
of
hold you
Facebook.
to that if I do that.
Absolutely. Please, hold me. You don't have to hold me to it. It's done. But here's the thing. So let's say, now I don't have tons of friends on Facebook because I use it. I try to keep that a little bit more personal, although it's wide open. But if I've got 300 friends on Facebook and some of them are marketers, that's people, let's say, 30 people are marketers. It's more than that. That's 30 people you didn't have access to before. So you post content, video, I share it. You've got now 30 people and the potential of their, and they tell 2 friends and so on and so on. That's how social grows. You know that. But it is time consuming. So I believe that it should be part of a marketing strategy. Because of that reach. 1.5 billion people have Facebook accounts. 40, just a second, I wanted to pull that stat up again. 50 million small and mid-sized businesses are using Facebook pages. 80% of them are within the US. More than 2.5 billion comments are posted on pages each month. So there's a lot of noise out there. And we have blogged about sort of how to rise above that. And sometimes it is a pay to play. You're right. Although Ellen and I don't do a lot of paid marketing on Facebook. We have, but the ads we've run are linked off of Facebook. So they have a defined purpose. Usually we're marketing our research search engine. And so the links, whether they be on the right-hand desktop ad column or within the newsfeed, are bringing people off of Facebook. And it used to be sort of taboo to do that. That Facebook preferred links stay within. I haven't seen evidence that that's true today.
So what we called the walled garden before, there's actually gateways out.
There are, and I think a lot of the gateways are based upon their new ad platforms that they're creating. Their Canvas video ads, their carousel ads. They have no problem now. In fact, if you go to Facebook to try and run an ad, and I'm going to pull it up because I don't have it memorized, but they basically, I told you I'm having, a bit of issues here. If you were to click promote on a Facebook page, you can promote your call to action within the which again is a link possibly elsewhere. On the B2B page, we have a sign-up link, which takes you elsewhere. You can promote your website. It's the second item that they want you to do. Get more people to view your website. Promote a local business. The promote your page and invite your friends are actually the 2 bottom choices, which to me says that they'd rather, and maybe they've realized that the majority of businesses really don't want to just promote their Facebook page. They want to promote a product, a service, a business, website. Those are the big things. You can still do the paid, like my page. I'm not a fan of those, not because of cost, and I just feel like sometimes you don't get the quality you need. But think about Facebook targeting, though. for ads. And again, marketing and advertising sometimes go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to pay, think about the granular targeting you can do on Facebook. If you know that you want to target people who say they work at a certain company, you can do that. There's actually tools that you could target an ad to one person, which, if I wanted, I always, in classes I teach, I always use this as an example. If I want my wife who runs a company to see an ad, it could be just a, happy anniversary ad, something silly. I can target the ad to employees of her company that are over a certain age that live where we live in South Florida. There's only one of them. So think about that kind of power. I see you looking at me skeptically.
No, I'm just, you are summarizing a lot of things that I've read in articles, and it's, your summary is more clarified and, like I said, I'm blown away, because the last time I participated on a business page was 3 years ago for a client, and because I don't use Facebook, I'm not participating for current clients. And it seems like the changes they've made, it's like they've listened to me by proxy. Somehow.
You thought about it. ESP, you thought about it. Mark Zuckerberg went, oh my God, Melanie Hall is not happy with the way we're doing. These are the things we need to change right now.
And the grand, shall I say, grand conspiracy is like, you know what? She listens to Craig and Ellen, so if they,
Okay, I like that.
That would be fine. It does sound like there's more of a glimmer of hope than I felt a half hour ago.
Well, I have to tell you, Melanie, I am within the next week or two going to expect an email or a request on Facebook to like your business page, just because I'm expecting it. And all of the people that are, watching either live, it's going to be facebook.com/bigupticksocial. That's going to be the username. I just see it coming. I see it.
You're a predictor.
I see it coming. So the second, I'm going to just say that one of the reasons that I feel that we're able to summarize some of this content so well is because we read just about everything there is out there, Ellen and I, and it all becomes part of our research database, which enables marketers, bloggers, advertising agencies to search specific topics and specific subjects. And I think that's sort of, somebody had called Ellen and I the best read marketers on the planet, which is cool.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to now kind of jump over to, we've talked live video, we've talked statistics. The other big thing I think is the Facebook instant articles. Now, Facebook has their big F8 conference coming up, and they've indicated that after F8, they are going to open these instant articles to everyone. In fact, they're even working with WordPress and a WordPress developer to create a WordPress plugin. So people, small and large, can utilize this new tool. So what are instant articles? Instant articles are basically a quick loading version of an article. They usually on mobile, and they're mobile, really, they're mobile friendly, mobilized articles. And they're indicated by a little lightning bolt when you search the mobile Facebook newsfeed. And that lightning bolt indicates that the article, if you click on it, it's going to open like that. One of my biggest complaints in Facebook is how long it takes some articles to open. And I think, and I'm going to call out the Huffington Post. I'm doing it. I think they're a big, they're one of the biggest offenders of this in my mind. The article takes a while to open. You usually get a snippet. It says read more. And when I click read more, a big full page ad opens.
Yeah, those little interstitials, which.
Yes. That's a whole nother, that maybe that's a conversation for another day. But yet when they use the instant article protocol, the article opens instantly. There's no other ad. They can put one in if they want to, but it's not an overlay, and the article opens instantly. It's a nice, clean interface. And it allows publishers, which we all are now. You have a blog, that you're a publisher. We have a blog. We're a publisher. YouTube, publishing. It allows us to reach our audience quickly. And I believe, although I have to be honest, I don't recall if Google's accelerated mobile pages, AMP, came first or instant articles came first. I don't remember the chicken or the egg. But Google's doing something very similar within the search results to speed up mobile. And the fact that you and I, as just ordinary citizens in the marketing world, can utilize this tool, I think is going to be huge. It's going to encourage people to click more, I think. So do you think instant articles are now something that, I don't know if your website is WordPress powered.
Yes, it is.
It is. A lot are. So is that something you would consider now, these instant articles sort of on mobile, getting instant access to your audience?
There again, I would have to see, with the instant articles, is it you can repurpose? I mean, can you use the exact same content that you're using somewhere else, or do you have to reword it?
Nope.
No?
Nope. It's strictly I'll call it a link. It's just as if you shared the link to the article, but it's going to be quick and, as Facebook says, responsive. So that way, depending on the ad page, and they say it loads up to 10 times faster on their standard app. And it's, zoomable, so we can use our fingers.
Wow.
So it is, no, it's not that you have to go to Facebook and repurpose content. I can share the link from my website, my WordPress-based website with the plugin, and it's going to be that instant article format.
Wow.
So yeah, it's enabling more sharing, because now if you come to the B2B website and share an article optimized for instant articles to Facebook, your audience will now see it in that regard.
Wow.
So it's opening up, I think, the publishing world.
It is
to a much
better, different beast these days. Very, very, very different. I mean, goodness, I couldn't use any of the strategies that we used 3 years ago because they're obsolete, they're outdated, and there's bigger and better engines to do all these things. It's like I feel now I'm feeling that I'm comparing my knowledge of a tricycle to a 10-speed or a moped or maybe even a Harley now. I don't know.
Wow. So Facebook's a Harley. They went from, and you're right. Facebook has.
That's how I'm looking. I'm saying, here I was at back then, the phase of comparatively to today, it's like a tricycle, and then what do we have today? If it's not a Harley yet, maybe it's on its way.
Well, and I think Facebook is also positioning itself to take on Snapchat even, although they've purchased Masquerade, which was an app that allowed you to share videos or photos of yourself with sort of, costumes, and Mark Zuckerberg announced it with using an Iron Man overlay, which I thought was kind of cool, I'll admit. Who doesn't want to be Iron Man? But that may be a direct shot at Snapchat, which is growing in popularity among marketers and users, where there's a chance now. We're supposed to be talking changes at Facebook, but I'm going to throw in Instagram because Instagram is owned by Facebook also. Engagement at Instagram is falling like a rock, it seems, which may be what spurred. Now, I don't know. Do you use Instagram at all? You don't. Okay.
No, I'm not a. I'm not a fan girl of Facebook, so I wouldn't. Isn't that terrible?
Well, they only bought it about a year ago, so they didn't own it before that.
I know. I it's like I try to keep my family really, really small because it's a matter of time. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
If it's a time sucker, which that's why it's like, okay, I pick this platform, this platform, this platform, because every time you add another platform, you've got to feed. It's like another pet or a child. You've got to feed and nourish it.
You do. You're absolutely right. And I use Instagram mainly personally, although, I will post some business stuff, but I sort of use it a little bit more personally. And it's in my mind, a way for people to get to know me on a different level than they may on Twitter or whatever. I am on Snapchat, although I will be the first to admit I don't see the appeal that other brands are seeing. And it's possible the appeal isn't there, and I'm correct. I did read research yesterday that for Snapchat, brands are jumping in and they have no idea why or how.
Yeah.
And they're not getting results that they hope they will.
Yeah. I was on a blab, I think, last week, just jumped in, and they were talking about Snapchat, and it works. This one brand where they are in higher education, it works for them because these are this is their demographic. So it makes sense for them to use Snapchat. And, but yeah, with brands, we have to say, okay, is it conducive to our message, to the time we'll spend? Will we have the interest and the energy to nourish this new child, or are we just collecting rocks,
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. And coupling, I'm going to jump that back to Instagram for a second, and coupling that with the sort of loss of engagement on Instagram, Facebook has announced, or Instagram has announced, I consider them one and the same, that they're instituting an algorithm there. Instagram, up until now, was a most recent first platform. It's and you scroll chronologically in reverse order amongst your followers, or the people you follow, rather. They are now going to institute an algorithm similarly to Facebook, where they'll show you the images you most want to see
based on your past history.
They don't tell you based on what.
Oh, they don't.
I don't know. I honestly, in my head, whenever I read these things, I imagine there's one person at Facebook who looks at everything and goes, oh yeah, Craig really liked this one, so we're going to move it up. But oh wait, no, John didn't like that. We got to delete that one. Yeah. It's one person who has screens galore that just sees what everybody does. So I don't know what it's based on. It's probably based on your engagement with that specific person or business. There's also talk that there'll be Instagram business pages coming, or business accounts. Although nothing has been specific, there is rumors that those are coming as well, since Instagram now allows you to change accounts within the app. So if I have 3 accounts, I can change between them within the app. Similarly, I use Tweetbot for my mobile iPhone Twitter accounts, and so I can just switch between the accounts at will. So instituting this platform with an algorithm, and the ads that are growing, it's and I did not coin this, I'd like to take credit, it's sort of the Facebookification of Instagram. And I wonder, and I consider this a change at Facebook, so I wonder how that will affect engagement for brands. Will it go up? because it has been falling? Will it continue to fall? And since you don't use it, it's hard. I don't know if you have an opinion on what you think will occur with Facebook sort of algorithming. Yes, that's a new word too. So we've got Facebookification and algorithming.
And let me add algorithm. Never mind. I had it in my head. My lips will not say it.
Algorithmically?
Well, that was, and then with the ization after it. Algorithmization.
Algorithmicization.
Yeah, there you
okay.
Go.
So do you think that brands suffer from an algorithmicization of our social media?
I think that's the only way they're going to function. I mean, brands, we have to go by statistics. And the only way to gather that is to have a system in place that is an algorithm of what, that pulls everything aggregated, and we can interpret that data the best we can, but a machine can do it for us fast, of course, faster and easier, but we just have to make sure we're guided in the right direction. But there's no way out of, you can't hide from algorithms. I mean, even when you do a search incognito, somehow, I don't know how it is, but somehow it still knows. It still knows. And here's what it is. This was a very.
And I've actually seen that also, that the browsers, Firefox, Chrome, Safari, aren't supposedly as incognito.
I know.
Thought.
It's more comforting to
think it is.
Think it is, but somehow, and it's the same with depending on who you have your mobile device, and you have your family accounts. Well, my husband can be at a store. I'm not at that store. He can be at that store wherever, and he can purchase at that store, and I will get an ad on my mobile device from that store he visited based on his purchase. And
that's a great use of data. I mean,
it's scary because in a way I can tell where he shopped, but I had no interaction with that purchase at all. I was not with him. He was there. He purchased it. He used his card, but because we're connected in the family plan for this mobile, I get the ads because they think, hey, that spouse, he or she might want to purchase this the next time too. It's very scary.
It truly is. And I must say, Facebook is very good at ads like that, sort of the remarketing, retargeting. Facebook does the same thing. If you search on Facebook, and Facebook is really looking to sort of compete with Google in regards to search. When they opened up their graph search, this was a few years ago. If you search for something within Facebook, you'll start getting ads on the right side, and if you click on an ad, you're going to start to see similar ads. They are using machine learning and data to see what we like. And Google does that if you're both signed into a Google account when you're somewhere, with the use of beacons, sort of that technology connecting our physical presence with our online world. The amount of data that's out there is huge. And I'm going to sort of funnel it back down to Facebook itself. The amount of data Facebook has on all of us makes it a really strong tool for marketing.
Yeah.
If you check in somewhere on Facebook, now I don't see a lot of people doing that. For a while, they really wanted to compete with Foursquare, which is now Swarm, on that check-in. And I will occasionally check into locations within the Facebook app. And now all of a sudden I'll see ads that are similar in nature. So as a marketer, as an advertiser, I have access to people's interests. That's an interest that Facebook is using machine learning and artificial intelligence to parse through. 1.5 plus billion people's worth of data.
It's incredible.
It is. And when if you were to run an ad, and again, I'm going to pull up sort of some of the targeting just briefly. Forgetting location, that I can target to people who live, in a specific zip code or specific city. The amount of interests that I can target, from entertainment and family, fitness, food and drink, hobbies, activities, shopping and fashion, sports, technology, all of those things, marketing. I mean, it's mind-boggling the amount of targeting data that they have for us as marketers. Yes, it's pay to play.
Which, as you pointed out in the beginning, that's what we do. We have marketing dollars, we have budgets, and we determine, we are paying.
We are. And what's interesting? When you work with a client, the first time they may do I want to be on this, and this, and I have to have it all.
Yeah.
But part of a strategy is finding out where the audience is.
Yeah.
And depending on the business, I know if Ellen were on right now, she would argue a bit about the use of Facebook for business. She's not a fan. So I will throw that in there. I am a fan because I do see the benefit in it and always have. But if your audience is there, if you're working with a yoga brand, your audience is there and they're talking about yoga and Facebook knows it.
Yeah.
How do you not, in my mind, jump on that data bandwagon?
Because you're Melanie Hall and you're still riding this tricycle 3 years ago.
But you know what? But your expertise isn't Facebook. It's in other areas, and that's okay. I don't want you to. I feel bad now because that I went into this going, I'm going to convince Melanie.
Well, you have, and you probably know that I was kicked off my high school debate team because I can't debate, because I actually listen. And that's not the premise of debating. Debating is you prepare your arguments and you stick with it no matter what the opposing side says. But I would be listening and saying,
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't have the spirit of debating because I listen too much. I consider too much, because I know that regardless of all the research I can do to prepare to convince anybody of anything, whatever that topic is, they're going to have something that I didn't know about, and then I'm going to consider. Just like with you, I know what I know about Facebook based on 3 years ago experience, articles I'm reading now about their changes, but I usually avoid discussions on Facebook because I know that I'm not going to inch toward it, but perhaps
I threw you right in the fire then.
Yeah,
wow.
Because I do avoid Facebook discussions. I mean, I was on now I'm going back 2 years ago. I was on an HOA, and the topic was Facebook. And I said, well, I don't think I can appear on that broadcast because I'm not a Facebook user and my attitude about it is very different. And he said, well, no, we want some animosity on this show, and you'll provide that. But then once we got on the show, I wasn't allowed to give any animosity towards it.
Give it.
So it was
Give
like,
the animosity.
yeah. So I was like, wow, but I wasn't, not that I wasn't able to, I wasn't permitted to. So there,
Oh.
yeah, I was able to, from my heart. but the show had shifted based on the audience, and
Mm.
so it was like, okay, pucker, shut the lip, zip the lip.
No, and I did. I may have done that to you, and I
No,
apologize. But
there is no apology necessary, none at all. I know that I know that Facebook is very different, and it's and it is appropriate time for me to look at it again.
And I think especially with the rise of video use,
Mm-hmm.
both live video and something that we didn't discuss, and we're sort of running out of time, is the use of native video on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ellen and I are sort of running an A/B test. I've done over the last week or so, although I don't have numbers yet, sort of to share
Mm-hmm.
or put together to share. We've decided to share our morning sip videos natively. So we share them from YouTube to, say, Twitter and LinkedIn, Google Plus, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But for Facebook, we upload it natively. And I've decided to sort of alternate some of the videos, whether it be native or YouTube link, to get some statistics on it. I'm not ready to share those yet. But it is... they've said, Facebook, that native videos will do better in their algorithm. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to have some data to share shortly as to whether that's in fact true or not. Yeah. But I don't have it quite yet.
Yeah, I think you'll need a good 6 to 12 weeks to.
Yeah, we need some data.
Yeah, it's too new. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And not only that, but their native video algorithm is also very new.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and by new, I mean probably only since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things sort of working together to gather that data.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and we've talked about video on our blabs before and how important it is. And I think Facebook just sort of reinforces that on a daily basis with their live video being so important to them.
Mm-hmm.
It is available, from what I understand, on iOS devices. I don't know if it's available on Android yet, although they are rolling it out for business pages to be able to use it. And what I've learned is if you don't have it and it's available on any Facebook business page, once you click publish, or the button to share an update, there'll be something to allow you to publish live video. If you log out of the app and log back in, it'll allow you, it should be there. That's what I'm hearing. That's sort of the method to get it, because they are rolling it out. And I'm also going to expect, Melanie, once your Facebook page is up and running, then I'm going to see you on that live video out and about.
Yeah, that is...
Although I say that, I haven't done it. We have not experimented with live video yet.
Well, I have done a couple meerkats. I've done a couple periscopes. It's not that is not my cup of tea. I prefer, the wider angle. My brain just can't shift back and forth like, hello, Susie, glad you. Oh, by the way, here's what we're talking about. So
it is hard. Yeah.
So but that's the same setup that you're going to do with Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is going to be, but you know what I could do? I could do what some of these other brilliant people do, is they just flip the view around to face outward, and they just go walk their town. Mm-hmm. They go walk their town and say, they're just highlighting the small businesses. They just walk their town. And then they're not reading comments, and they're not being interrupted. And at the very end, at the beginning, they'll say hello. At the end, they'll say, goodbye. So that's a strategy. You don't have to have that camera facing you. You can have it facing out.
Absolutely. But do you, and I'm just, again, don't use it. I've done a couple Periscopes, a couple meerkats, but before they decided to sort of change.
Yeah.
But does that limit your engagement? because now I'm not talking directly to people, similar to, just I don't know if that limits your engagement. I don't know.
Well, it's a paradise for lurkers, because
Yeah.
then they can be in there and not expected to be engaged with, because you're not even participating in the conversation. So I think it depends on what your camera's facing too.
Yeah.
So
No,
if you're mowing your lawn and you've got the camera facing out, and you're saying, here's what I do when I mow my lawn. I go in a straight line. That is not going to keep any appeal. But if you were visiting at the opening of a new amusement park or something, and
yes.
People will see that, and then occasionally you can flip it back to look at yourself. But
Sure.
yeah, I think the venue is important. And if you were going to I don't know, let's say you lived in a town or city where they're doing new construction, and you wanted to visit that venue and just show them maybe once a week what the
Sure.
progress is on the construction. That would be interesting, especially
Absolutely.
if you can't, maybe you're going to move to that city, or you moved away from that city and you still want to keep tabs. I mean, it's just all what the audience will find appealing, rather than just mowing your lawn, or here's my dog eating his food today. That's
yeah, I know. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I do. It is context.
Yeah.
And I believe that was Wednesday's morning sip as well. All about context.
Content and context.
Context.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Melanie, it is 1:00.
Yes,
We've
it is.
made it without Ellen. We did well, I think. I actually I thank you from the bottom of my B2B R&D heart for joining me, especially knowing that you are not a fan of Facebook. I hope maybe we've given you some thought to reconsider.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it again. And there was no bloodshed today, so we're all right.
No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
B2B R&D blabs every Friday at noon Eastern, although I am going to make the announcement that next Friday, as it is Good Friday, we will not be blabbing. So we will see you all in 2 weeks.
Very good.
So that way we give people an opportunity to celebrate with their family and friends for Good Friday if you celebrate. For Easter Sunday, I believe, is the Sunday after. I am not great on dates. So we wish everybody a happy Easter. And Melanie, thank you. Melanie Hall from Big Uptick Social Media. If you want to give yourself
social marketing,
sorry. Give yourself that shout out, Melanie.
Big Uptick Social Marketing LLC. Google it, Google me. You'll find it. We're there.
And that was Melanie Hall, and I'm Craig Yaris, the COO and co-founder of B2B R&D. That's www.b2brnd.com, home of Research, your digital marketing search engine. And we will see you in 2 weeks for our next Digital Marketing Insights Blab. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.